I'm Jasmine Anderson. The jury will again try and reach a verdict in the retrial of the Patchogue woman accused of killing an anti-gang activist. The 7 men and 5 women said they were deadlocked last week. They are stuck on the top charge Anne-Marie Drago is facing, criminally negligent homicide. She's accused of running over and killing Evelyn Rodriguez with her SUV in 2018 in Brentwood. A trial is scheduled to start today in the wrongful termination case of a former Southold probationary officer. Garrett Lake from Patchogue says officials fired him after he arrested 2 politically connected people for alleged drunken driving. Southold officials have denied allegations. A hunt right now for the woman police say stabbed a 7-Eleven worker in Uniondale. These are surveillance pictures of the suspect. Police say she began removing items from the store shelves on Jerusalem Avenue yesterday. When a clerk offered assistance, we're told she stabbed him several times before leaving with merchandise. The victim was taken to the hospital for treatment. A homeless man is expected in court today charged with assaulting 2 elderly women in their Mastic Beach homes. Derek Clancy was arrested Saturday afternoon. Police say he broke into the homes of a 78 and 75-year-old earlier this month and assaulted the women. To the rising tensions in the Middle East as the Israel-Hamas war enters week 3. A second convoy of aid trucks arrived in Gaza late yesterday. President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agreed during a phone call that there would be a continued flow of this critical assistance. Meanwhile, Israeli warplanes continue to strike targets across Gaza. Israel is widely expected to launch a ground offensive in Gaza following Hamas's brutal October 7th rampage into southern Israeli communities. Now here at home, hundreds gathered in Hauppauge for this pro-Palestinian rally yesterday. They are calling for an end to bloodshed in Gaza and for elected officials to publicly support the local Muslim population.
We are here gathering today to protest against the innocent killings across both sides of this war. We want peace, we want unity, we want strength amongst the people.
The Palestinian Health Ministry says the death toll in Gaza has reached more than 4,600. LI Votes 2023. Housing and development are the big issues in Babylon. Macy Egeland and Denise Bonilla have the story you'll see only in Newsday.
We are taking a closer look at the issues residents are really focused on as they head to the polls and choose their next town officials. Denise Bonilla is Newsday's Town of Babylon reporter. So Denise, what's been kind of top of mind for residents there lately?
Affordable housing is always a major topic in the town, as it is throughout Long Island. Definitely a need for affordable housing. The town of Babylon's a little unique in that it's pretty well developed already, so not a lot of room for any big apartment complexes anymore. But still, there are smaller complexes and buildings that are approved by the towns and the villages. So even though there is a need for affordable housing, whenever these projects do come up, they usually are a cause of concern for residents.
Speaking of development, Wyandanch Rising has been a talking point for residents for years now. Yeah,
Wyandanch Rising is the $500 million public-private partnership between the town and a master developer, Albanese, to redevelop the downtown of Wyandanch. The project's been going on for close to 20 years now, and there's been several apartment buildings built north of the railroad tracks. And so there's still a lot of work that has to be done. There's still a lot of questions about how much the project has revitalized the community. Some see it as purely cosmetic, others see it as, the start of something much bigger. But, questions remain as to what the impact will really be long term.
Any other concerns you've been hearing from residents in your reporting in Babylon?
Quality of life issues are always a big concern. When you have houses that are considered problem houses in neighborhoods, residents get very upset, especially if there's crimes being committed out of those homes, or they're vacant and blighted, or possibly safety hazards. So those are things that residents really want the town to work on, and the town has been pushing various code changes and things to try to address some of those homes.
Okay. Thank you, Denise.
Read more about the issues in Babylon and what matters in your town on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. One Long Island commuter went from cleaning stations to head of the LIRR. Alfonso Castillo has the story you'll see only in Newsday.
When he began working for the Long Island Railroad more than 30 years ago, it was Rob Free's job to sweep and mop at Jamaica Station. Last week, he returned to Jamaica to take on a new job, running the entire railroad.
You're just moving a million miles an hour, and sometimes you have to pinch yourself, but you don't realize, as this new role, even in the new office, it's very surreal.
Free, who joined the LIRR as a station cleaner in 1992, last week took over the reins of the LIRR as its new acting president, succeeding Catherine Rinaldi, who did double duty as Metro North's president and the LIRR interim president for 18 months. Free said his unique experience of having climbed from the bottom of the railroad to the very top of it makes him especially qualified to lead the LIRR.
Coming through the ranks and going through various roles helps you understand what the employees are going through, helps you understand what your managers are going through. So it's not everything is new. I understand what it takes to get the job done around here.
The Port Jefferson Station resident said his top priorities for the railroad are safety, reliability, and customer experience, including by continuing to make improvements to the schedules the LIRR adopted when it opened Grand Central Madison earlier this year.
Although we made some great progress, we're not stopping. We're going to continue to look at it and see what we can do to help it.
And when the MTA is ready to hire a permanent railroad president, Free said he hopes to take on one last job at the LIRR.
It would be an incredible way to end my career here as I rose up through the ranks to achieve that role permanently. I absolutely want the job permanently, and I want to do everything I can to help Long Island.
In Jamaica, Queens, Alfonso Castillo for Newsday TV.
Read more about Robert Free on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Sports now, a giant win at MetLife Stadium.
3rd and goal. Taylor to the end zone. Waller, touchdown!
Look at that. Tyrod Taylor tossed 2 touchdowns as the Giants held off the Washington Commanders 14-7. Next up for Big Blue, the Jets next Sunday. Checking out your hyper-local Monday forecast. Sunny today, highs around 60 degrees. Tonight we drop down into the 50s. Tomorrow we're partly cloudy with highs around 62 degrees. A look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Home Tax Saver, PTRC Incorporated.
The number of educators making more than $300,000 a year is rising statewide, and the majority of those big paychecks are here on Long Island. Newsday analyzed records from the state teachers retirement system and found last year 44 public school educators on Long Island hit that mark or exceeded it. That's up from 41 in the 2020-2021 school year. Newsday education reporter John Hillebrand said there are arguments for and against the high salaries.
On the one hand, educators often justify the salaries on Long Island by saying living costs are higher here. On the other hand, the other side of that is that people say, look, if the salaries get too high, you're going to get an adverse reaction, not just from taxpayers, but also from state legislatures who may put limits on salaries.
Hildebrand says there are some examples of educators being paid $500,000 and $600,000 in their final year packages.
It's important to note that this isn't just base salary because educational contracts usually allow these officials to cash in their unused sick and vacation days when they retire.
Read more about Long Island teachers' salaries on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A beloved family-run cafe, fall hikes, and animals, Macy Eglin takes us to Smithtown in today's Destination Downtown.
Downtown Smithtown is a one-stop shop for food, fun, even errands. And the perfect place to start the day is Javier's Cafe on Main Street.
You can go to a lot of places and get eggs and omelets and pancakes, but it's always been big for us to have things very fresh.
Javier's is celebrating 10 years in the heart of Smithtown, a family-run operation with a passion for food.
And with a specials menu that changes daily, they're always trying something different.
It's fun, you know, you kind of see what works, what doesn't work, or what becomes like popular. Some things that were only specials, you know, we put on the regular menu because they became, you know, like a very popular item too. So it's been fun.
And those who prefer their breakfast on the sweet side will find plenty on the menu here. Everything from pancakes to their stuffed French toast. This is half apple, half raspberry.
Smithtown is also home to Sweetbriar Nature Center, an indoor and outdoor opportunity for fall family fun. Sweetbriar is a nature education and wildlife rehabilitation center, housing more than 50 animals that can't fend for themselves.
Our job is to treat it and hopefully release it back into the wild. If it can't be released, we try to find placements. Sometimes it winds up staying here.
And it offers a learning experience for kids and adults.
These are animals that are in their backyards and we can coexist.
You can also enjoy the trails and play areas around their 54 acres along the Nissaquag River.
This is one of their newer trails. It's a trail for the visually impaired. It was an Eagle Scout project, complete with this guide rope and braille along the way.
I always like to say that Sweetbriar is Smithtown's best kept secret.
You can see for yourself 7 days a week. Reporting for Newsday TV in Smithtown, I'm Macy Eglund.
So much to do in Smithtown. For more on Smithtown, go to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Working in journalism, I think you experience the world in a really different way than people in other professions do. I find it very satisfying to learn about things and get to tell other people about them.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Thank you so much for watching on this Monday. We'll leave you with a look at your hyperlocal 7-day forecast.